guys, it's Ambitious Angelo from WooCutzTV. I'm here with Eric from Salon Republic and the Hair Game podcast. Eric, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for inviting us to this event here today with Lou the Barber. Tell me, what's going on today here?
So this is Modern Salon's Digital Summit. This is the first event, multi-day event that one of the kind of large media brands in our business have put together that's focusing just on digital content. So obviously Instagram, video, content creation, all that kind of stuff. And they put it together in a few months, and it's happening. So this is day one. We opened with a panel talking about personal branding. So we talked about the fact that these days everybody's kind of a personal brand, whether you like it or not, and so you better start thinking about it like that, or else you might find it harder, to sell your stuff.
Yesterday I had the pleasure of sitting in on Gary V's How to Make It in America conversation at ComplexCon, and he broke it down, with that influencer or personal brand or whatever. He's like, back then it was just called a reputation, and that's how today maybe the words have changed, but your reputation is what holds and opens up doors for you.
Sure.
So I want to talk a little bit about your brand. How did Salon Republic start? Like, what was your background, and how did we get to today?
Okay, so my background's pretty typical. I was born in Dallas, and I played sports. I went to college to play baseball. Maybe what was not so typical about it was that both of my parents were entrepreneurs. My mom is an artist. She's a successful oil painter. You can't say that for a lot of people, but she actually makes money painting on canvas. My dad was a small business person, owned some warehouses, and before retiring. And I grew up in a household where I saw her upstairs painting her stuff and him downstairs in his office running his properties. And if she painted stuff that she was able to sell, then we had money. If she painted stuff that nobody wanted to buy, we didn't have money. If my dad didn't do a good job that day, cleaning his buildings or whatever, then we didn't eat, right? So it's like you eat what you kill kind of a thing. I grew up like this, and so I really appreciated the notion that that there's a direct relationship between how much money you have and what kind of life you have and the freedom that you have, and what you actually do as an entrepreneur every day. So I always knew that I wanted to do something on my own. Wasn't really sure what that was going to be. In college, I studied finance and economics and all the boring stuff, because I figured it was going to be something that I could rely upon, And when I graduated, I started studying businesses that were interesting to me, typically businesses that combined art and some sort of necessity. Okay. The salon business was the main one of those. And so I moved actually back to Dallas after I graduated college. I started walking into salons cold, saying, I'm a recent college graduate, I don't know shit, and can I just hang around and kind of learn what happens, right? Mm-hmm. And so I did enough of those, and then my girlfriend at the time, her hairdresser moved to a salon similar to Salon Republic, kind of the first version of the salon studio concept. And she told me about it. I went over there. I met the dude who developed the concept originally. Okay. I worked for him for a year for free and learned the business, learned what hairdressers are like, learned what the beauty business was like. And I thought, man, this is something that I can really dig my teeth into, some place where I can really make a difference as a 21-year-old kid who didn't know anything. And then I moved from Dallas to Studio City in LA. Just a suburb of LA, and opened the first location in 2000. Okay. But it took me about 2 years to get the first location off the ground. So here we are 18 years later, and we've got 15 locations, about 1,200 hairdressers in 3 different states, and we're growing really quickly and just trying to figure out how to support hairdressers. That's the bottom line.
It's so funny that your story coincides a lot with a lot of typical, entrepreneurs out there. You come from a line of entrepreneurs, and it's not just about the income, but like you said, that lifestyle that, if you don't kill it, you don't eat it, type of thing. So it was kind of ingrained in you already. You know, that's I think one of the hardest parts for people that want to start a brand or be an entrepreneur. They're not used to that lifestyle. They're used to the security. They're used to that paycheck. They're used to, you know, going down that road. So talk to me about the early years. You know, how many studios did you have in that first location? Talk to me about like those first 2 years.
Yeah. So I mean, even back before that, the early years, I remember when my dad's business wasn't going so well. And when it wasn't going so well, we don't go on vacation. You know, we don't do normal things. You just have to scale back because things weren't going well. Maybe it was because taxes were increased, or because this happened, or there was a recession or whatever, and you just have to scale back as a natural function. So I was used to that. I was used to being up and being okay with being down. When I started Salon Republic, I was on a bootstrapping kind of a budget. I didn't have a lot of money. I had to go out and find the money initially, and I was doing a lot of shit myself. I mean, I was putting the cabinets on the walls myself. I was laying floor myself. A lot of that floor that I laid originally, laid it very poorly. It's still there, like under a much larger, much nicer floor that we laid on top of the shit job that I did. But I was doing all that stuff myself because I literally didn't have enough money to pay for somebody to do the floor. I was going to Home Depot and buying the tiles and putting it in my trunk, and going down the road like hanging low on the end with all that tile in my trunk and lifting that shit up myself. I did a lot of dumb things, but when you bootstrap, you just got to figure it out. You have to have a great deal of tenacity, and your will is tested, right? And I lived like a poor person. Look, for the first 4 years, even though after maybe a couple years there was enough money coming in, I had to build up some sort of a savings in case the salon hit hard times, right? So yeah, that was a long time ago, but that's the reality of being an entrepreneur, and you have to be okay with that.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people want to focus on the successful parts, right? The glitz, the glamour, we made it, you got to the mountaintop, but no one ever wants to really talk about those valleys. So I really appreciate that you're going deep with that, because a lot of people see us at like that mountaintop, right? And then they think that we just land there. And it's like, no. We started from the bottom. Yeah, we work our way up, and it's not as glorious, or it's not as smooth of a path as, so being able to be transparent with people about like the struggles of being an entrepreneur, right? It helps people understand, like, okay, maybe I can start, maybe I can do my own thing, so tell me a little bit, what maybe like one of your famous failures that you can kind of remember that structure that got you to where you're at today.
I didn't have a lot of like failures in the traditional sense of the word. I made a lot of mistakes. I will try to give you a failure. In my second location, I opened a beauty supply, and it bombed, totally bombed. Nobody bought shit, and I probably spent 20 grand on inventory, and I had to give it away or throw it away or whatever.
This was inside
that was in our second location. So that was after I opened the second location on a bootstrap budget, and I thought, wouldn't it be great to have a beauty supply? So that totally bombed. That was in, 2003, and then fast forward to about 2015, and then we opened up a beauty supply in the proper way. So now we have beauty supplies in all of the Salon Republics in Southern California, out of state, and it's become the primary source of beauty products for our own hairdressers. So it's successful, but the first one bombed just because I didn't structure it right. But a lot of the mistakes early on that I made were, I would buy the wrong equipment, the shit would break. Then I would have to find another piece of equipment. I'd have to put on my credit card, dragon bottom every month, from a financial standpoint. I like to tell a story how when we got our shampoo units delivered to the first location, we had 40 shampoo units in these big boxes like this that weighed a bunch. And then we got our styling chairs that weighed a lot. And the delivery company came to deliver them to the salon, and the dude stacked them up along Ventura Boulevard in Studio City, right in front of the salon. The salon was in a shopping center on the second level. He stacked it all on the street, like 8 feet high, probably, I don't know, 150 feet long, because this was like 120 boxes or something. And I'm like, okay, so when are you gonna bring it up into the salon? You know, because like we're all the way up there on the second level. And the dude's like, no, this is like drop ship or whatever it's called. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, how am I supposed to do it? And he's like, I don't know, sign here, laters. And so I had to carry each one of those boxes up. Probably took me 6-7 hours to carry all those boxes up. And I have a bad back to this day. I blame it on that one day, carrying those damn boxes up there. So you do stupid shit, right? But there's no stopping. You can't not carry the boxes up to the salon, right? No. We did we built the salon maybe in not the best way, and so we had electrical breakers popping and stuff, and the hairdressers' blow dryers were going off, and they were pissed off at me, like late into the night, right? And so I would be out with some girl. I was on a date or whatever, and I'm trying to, get with this girl, and I'm getting these phone calls from my hairstylist, and they're like, "Yeah, my blow dryer won't work," and I'm like, "Sorry, I gotta go. I have this business, and there's nothing between me and my business." So later, and that would be the last time that I ever saw a girl. So there's a mindset that you have to be in. It's a no lose situation. You can't lose. You got to make it work. That's the way it works.
I was in the Marine Corps. In my unit, the motto was whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out. Do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship. I feel like, a lot of people think being an entrepreneur is being a good businessman, and that's part of it. But I feel like it's a critical problem solver.
Sure.
Because things come up when you don't know, and especially like in the early years where nowadays we can YouTube anything.
Yeah.
You can just go online, Google it, and you're gonna get an answer for some stuff.
Yeah.
Back then there wasn't that many resources out there.
Right.
So it's really a testament of your character to see where Salon Republic is today, and to be able to see how you're empowering other people. One of the things that I love about the beauty and barber industry is I feel like that industry is it's like the first kind of entrepreneurs in communities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you're taking it to another level where you're empowering the individual stylist or the individual barber or esthetician, that they can come in, get their studio, get their space, and run their own business.
Right. If I'm ever feeling down or whatever, I go to the salon and I talk to our hairdressers, because it then reminds me about the value of what we've been doing. And sometimes if I'm not in the salon talking directly to our hairstylist, I forget that, because I'm in the office, fighting the good fight, right? Against landlords and vendors and everybody else, the lawyers or whatever. So that's one really lucky thing, and maybe I call it lucky, I don't know. Maybe that's one thing I liked about the business initially. I don't really remember. I mean, I knew I remember that hairdressers loved being in that kind of independent situation, and I think I thought that, wow, that's really amazing that they can do that. And I kind of, my mom was an analogy where she was an artist doing her own thing. If she had to work amongst other artists and she was controlled, I could see how that would not be as good. And so a lot of the salons out there were controlling their, hairdressers. And so I could see that my mom has her own place. So I could see how a hairdresser would really enjoy having their own place. So fast forward, we now have a lot of hairdressers who are just really loving that freedom and independence and the ability to do whatever it is they want to do.
If there's somebody out there that's watching this, maybe they are still in school, or they've been working for someone else in their salons for, maybe 10 years or something like that, what words would you give them to kind of jump off the ledge and build their own dream?
Look, there is the right working environment for a hairdresser at every given stage of that hairdresser's evolution. Right out of school, we typically don't take people right out of school, right? Because we believe that they need to build the skills, they need to build the clientele and all that, and then maybe down the road they'll be ready. And we've had a lot of those people come in and then go out to another salon, build their clientele and everything, and 5-6 years later they come back and they've been in the Salon Republic for a long time. I would simply say, I would simply say, be very thoughtful about the way that you're running your business. Even if you're new out of school and you're in a commissioned salon, you might have the impression that you're part of a team and that team is supposed to do everything for you. It's supposed to bring in your clients, it's supposed to teach you and all that kind of stuff. You're still going to have to do a lot of stuff on your own. I'm hearing that even in the commission salons, you've got to still market yourself. I know a lot of commission salons that don't take hairstylists unless they have clients. So explain that one to me. I don't know, but so treat yourself like a business that you can be thoughtful about and get better at every single day. Build your book, and then that opens up all your opportunities. Maybe it's coming to Salon Republic, maybe it's having a storefront, maybe it's just going to a salon with fewer sort of restrictions on you, but build yourself up. Don't look at anybody else, frankly. I mean, yeah, it's really cool if the salon you're in is bringing you stuff, but still go out to the bars, go out to the clubs, go out to the coffee shops, make conversation with people, show them your Instagram, drum up that business yourself. Those skills that you're going to build in doing that will last you a lifetime.
I love it. I love it, Eric. So, we're talking about you just brought up Instagram, right?
Yeah.
You started Salon Republic in 2000. So around 2008 is where 2005 2008 MySpace came out.
Yeah.
Facebook started coming out for colleges, and Instagram later. So how has this social media culture impacted your business and the hairstylists, the entrepreneurs that work and rent from Salon Republic?
Right. I simply think that it's given hairdressers a platform to be their own brand, their own personal brand. No longer does a hairdresser have to be part of a brand name salon to do really, really well. And in fact, we're seeing that a lot of hairdressers are doing better, outside of the big names, because the big names tend to take, a larger percentage of the productivity that the hairstylist generates. So if the hairstylist can go and essentially have their own marketing tool right there, which is Instagram, without having to pay a lot of commission to another salon, they can do better than ever. So it's allowed that for sure. Second part of that answer is going to be just the connection within the community. Obviously, it's allowed the entire beauty community to connect like never before. I was in this business MySpace didn't really catch on with the beauty community that well. Facebook didn't even really catch on with the beauty community. It was really like 2013 for the early people. Really, just in the last couple of years, 2015 or so, it's really started catching on. Before that, a lot of hairdressers felt like the only people they knew in the business were those who worked in the salon immediately around them. That was it. And people were very insular. They didn't share formulas. They didn't see any value in branching out outside of their salon's walls. And it was almost like, this is my salon, this is my posse, that salon across the street, they're the competition, they're the enemy. Instagram has brought us all together and kind of interwoven it in such a way that people are getting to know each other everywhere, all over the world. It's wild. It's fantastic.
That's it. You hit it right on the nail, man. And I call it the fixed mindset versus like the growth mindset. When you have that fixed mindset, you think that there's not enough for everybody, like you have to cover, like your secret recipes or something. But when you have that growth mindset, it doesn't, like right now, we're collaborating right now, the hair game and WooCutzTV.
Yeah.
That's a growth mindset. It's like, hey, there's opportunity for everyone out here. We can grow and build together instead of against each other. Last question, Eric. As a CEO, how do you balance out just not just the business, but the family life, the social life, the getting yourself balanced, and talk to me about that.
I would say that's the hardest part, frankly. Balance within my professional life. How much time do I spend here? How much time do I spend at each of these places as the CEO? A good CEO is not necessarily doing little tiny minutia, right? Because That's not what a CEO should be. CEO should build teams and create culture and make sure that those teams operate extremely efficiently. When I get involved in nitty gritty, it slows things down. So where do you spend your time on a daily basis every given second? That's an enormous challenge that I fight with every day. I'm better now than I was last month, and last month I was better than the previous month. So you just try to get a little bit better. As far as balancing life in general, including personal life, I think it's all about the partner that you have. Assume you're with somebody. Make sure that they're understanding of what you're doing, because if you have somebody who fights against that, it can make it extremely difficult. So my wife understands, what I'm doing on a daily basis. She understands that I have to be here on a Sunday for 16 hours while my kids are doing soccer games and stuff like that, things that they care about me being there or not being there. So it's about having a partnership that's very understanding.
Awesome, Eric. Thank you so much again for your time, and let the people know where they can follow yourself and the hair game. Okay, where can they catch the hair game?
So the hair game lives at Salon Republic, at Salon Republic on Instagram, Salon Republic on Facebook, salonrepublic.com on the web. The hair game podcast is on all the podcast platforms. So it's iTunes or the Apple Podcast app. If you have a Droid, it's on Stitcher. That seems to be the most popular podcast app there. And then the hair game is also, of course, a vlog, video log, and that is on YouTube. Lives on YouTube, the hair game.
There it is.
That's it.
There it is. Well, thank you again, Eric. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing your story with me. And I can't wait to get this information out to the public, because I really know that people always see like I said, the mountaintops, the big pictures, but they don't know how to put the little pieces together to make that big picture happen. So
Yep.
I hope that this really helps some stylists out there. If you are looking to build your own personal brand and develop that, definitely come down to Salon Republics. What are all the states that Salon Republic's actually in?
Most of our locations are California. We have 2 locations in Texas, Dallas and Austin. We have 1 location in Broomfield, Colorado, which is right between Denver and Boulder. So in Southern California, mostly LA. We have 1, soon to be 2 locations in San Diego.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Well, this is Ambitious Angelo for WooCutzTV, collabing with The Hair Game and Eric and Salon Republic. Thank you guys for watching this. Stay tuned. We have a lot more footage and coverage of this event and more talks with CEOs, man. We're talking learning from the top, all right? Ambitious Angelo out.